Welcome to Galactic Grandmother, Heart to Heart. My name is April, and my special guest today is DEVARA Thunderbeat. DEVARA is an internationally awarded musician. She is amazing. She has a lot of CDs out that you should check out, but she also is one of the forerunners in sound healing, and we're going to get into that today. She has had the number one CD on Robert Monroe's Institute for the Hemi-Sync artist. And we're going to talk about that as well. We have done interviews about her photographic book on the faces in Sedona. We've done an interview about her activating trip to the temples and the Giza pyramids. I will link all of our interviews below so that you can check those out. And I'm just really excited to get into talking with you today. So, welcome, DEVARA.
Thank you for having me, April. Miss Galactic Grandmother,
Yep.
powerful one.
We were just having fun before this started, just discussing our mutual Choctaw lineage. And you were hearing Coco Pelli come through, and I was feeling the energies. That was fun.
I heard flutes coming through, and they sound like birds, but they're flutes. I know they're flutes. Yeah.
Mhm. And that's one of my absolute favorite musics. When I go to work or relax, I always turn on Native American flute music.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's a long story, but I went solo in the year 2000 and I hooked up with a band when I first moved here called One Heart, and we're very Native American. And we did a grand opening for the Creative Life Center, which is a big
Oh,
center
yeah.
for the center here. That was, many, many decades ago. And we were only got together. We wrote 10 songs together, and we were only going to do the grand opening because that was what we planned to do. And then everybody asked us, "Oh my God, you guys are amazing. When are you playing again?" And I'm like, we all looked at each other. It's like we didn't plan on it. And then one flute player, it's two flute players and one plays guitar. Didgeridoo. It's John Dumas. He's incredible, and he plays flute. And then Jesse plays flute and chants, and I played all the drums and keyboards, and chimes and percussion rattles and things. So, but we started playing again and around, and we became the number one. We got honored to be the number one Sedona band for 3 years. And
Whoa.
then, yeah, and then John moved to Hawaii. So, how things happened magically when I moved here. It was just boom, it was so fast. And my music career, as in before I was in rock bands, and it's a hard life. Let me put it that way, the rock stuff. I mean, you play your beautiful, happy music or whatever, but the business is was crazy. So I'm glad I went solo. I got into sound healing very early. I've always been spiritual all my life. I started playing full drum set at 15 years old.
Oh,
And then I was in rock bands for over 20 years. And then I went solo. But in the 90s, I was still in rock bands, and I was so fascinated by how each key in the musical scale affects a person emotionally or just affects a person. So I was doing my own research, and I never heard of sound healing back then, and no one's ever mentioned it. And I would talk about healing of each key or whatever note, and I came up with all kinds of stuff. And then I was overnight in the Great Pyramid of Egypt doing the ceremony. Right after ceremony, Archangel Gabriel comes to me, and he goes to me, color, light, sound. Seven is the sacred number. Seven is the sacred number. And I said, and he kept repeating this over and over again. And I said, oh, he's talking about the chakras, the seven chakras. He's telling me there's an activational tone for each chakra. Now, this is in 1997. There was no chakra CDs out at that time. None. I came home from Egypt and looked and did my research, and I said, "There's none." My friend Jonathan Goldman had one, but he had his CD, his chakra CD was the Tibetan monks chanting one tone. And
Oh,
we talked about it. I go, I got 7 tones from Archangel Gabriel. He goes, I'm not familiar with them. And so I ended up doing the CD, and I was very excited about it. Let me tell you about Archangel Gabriel. Gabriel is a musician. Come blow your horn. He's a horn player. People don't put the two and two together. He's the perfect angel to come in and bringing me these tones. And he gave me the tones. He came to my house. When I was recording it, he showed me the keys for each chakra.
oh,
So I
wow.
didn't write the whole thing by myself. It was me and Archangel Gabriel, and like you said, it became #1 top selling at Monroe Institute for healing and activating the chakras, and for 15 years now. And I have other CDs with them now. And yeah, I would just feel very, very honored that that happened. But what the incredible story was that soon as I recorded, I have a recording studio also. I recorded the first chakra, the root chakra, okay?
Mhm.
And soon as I went to the second chakra, because I had all the keys all ready to go, Archangel Gabriel comes in and says, "No, not yet, not time." And I'm like, "What?" I go, "I'm so excited about this project. I want to do it now." "What do you mean?" And then it was dead silence, and nothing worked in my recording studio. Nothing. And I'm like, "Oh my God, okay, I don't know why this is." So I went and started recording. I tried a few times with the Chakra CD. Nothing worked. Then I worked on this other CD. I said, "Okay, okay, I'm going to work on this other CD." Recorded that one. Everything was fine. Recording through studio is fine. I'm like, and I go back to the Chakra one. Nope. And I'm like, okay, so long story short, 4 years go by because every time I try to do it, not yet, not time, not yet, not time. 4 years later, 2001, 9/11 happens. The day after 9/11 is when Archangel Gabriel come in. He goes, okay, it's time now.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was a whole timing thing, and they can see in the future, and
Oh,
it needed the whole planet or the whole United States. We needed healing, tons
because,
of healing, and he said it wouldn't have been noticed. He told me it would have not been noticed if you came out with it too early. So it's a timing thing.
and the frequency of music is multidimensional.
Yeah.
So the healing that you were coming out with was multidimensional.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, it is.
Wow.
It is. So all my solo CDs have activational tones in there. A lot of it's journey, take a journey. They are all journey because I'll go to like Egypt and come home, write a CD right away. I'll go to the Mayan lands. I'll come home, write a Mayan CD, which I did right away. And all these CDs do have multi awards, and I get the feedback I get, like especially with well, it's different feedback for each one, but the Mayan CD, I used to constantly get, "Wow, it's activating my past life," and I said, "Memories," and I said, "Oh, in the Mayan lands, because it's a Mayan CD." He goes, "No," and I was like, "What?" And they said, "Just a different past life." I'm like, "Oh my God. Talk about activational tones." So, and they were very Mayan. And Jose Aguilar, he's a Mayan shaman.
Oh,
And he did all the Mayan astrology and stuff like that. And oh my God, he had 20 books out. He's passed now, but it was his favorite CD. He goes, "Oh my God, you have written the truth here." And I'm like, what an honor from a Mayan shaman, top Mayan shaman, to tell me that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I brought him here and had him I did a conference with him and played my music, and we just had a blast. And he spoke his truth. The Mayan Factor is what he was very famous for, the book.
hmm, okay.
Yeah.
One of the services I offer is taking people to the Akashic Records to review past lives. So
Nice.
I'm going to check out using your Mayan music in combination with that because
Okay.
I take them in a meditative kind of a shamanic journey. And so that would be great.
Yeah, everybody can hear all my music. I have like 14 solo CDs out, and you can hear all my music for free without commercials. And I'm like, that those, I'm sorry, but Spotify and all those channels, they just cut the journey off and the activation and the healing off from putting these commercials in. So I have my own station on Bandcamp called SiriusStargate.com, and everybody can listen to everything I have for free. And then after I think the third time, fourth time, you have to download it if you want it. So, and it's up for good prices. So take the journey. But you know what they did? They got forced into taking down one of my CDs. And actually, I'm pretty honored about that because obviously it works. It was the okay.
Virus removal,
Yes,
9191 hertz.
yes.
Ooh,
And it does, and it heals your lungs, heart, sinuses, cell repair, respiratory, asthma. They banned it from my site because it works.
ooh.
And it's rife
Oh,
frequency. Yeah.
oh yeah.
So
Oh,
and I put them together for people, and I put it out during COVID, and they said no. Ah. So, but it's on my website. You can buy it physically on my
okay.
website, thunderbeat.com.
And I'm going to put the links for the music and your website below too, below
Nice.
this. Prior to this interview, there's music playing and it's called Pink. Is there a story behind this?
That is actually off my 12 DNA activation CD. That came in after my chakra CD. Then I said, "What's the next step?" My guide said, "The DNA. We need to activate the DNA." And I'm like, "Okay, let's do it." So that was the 12 DNA. I also do a private session, which is the 22 DNA activation, which is even higher frequency, but that has to be like either through the internet or in person. It can't be just with the sound. It needs
Right.
more activation. I use color, light, and sound when I do the 22, but the 12 very powerful, and don't drive with that CD. You'll miss your exit.
Oh, you might miss more than that. Uh,
You'll be
uh,
going to other worlds, that's for sure.
when you were on one of your trips to Egypt, you were in the King's Chamber in the Giza Pyramid, and you had a very special experience, which led to a CD. Can you talk about that?
Well, that was the chakra CD.
Okay.
That was when Archangel Gabriel came in, and before that, the my spirit guide said, "Bring your drum and do and activate the Great Pyramid. It's been dormant for eons." And I said, "Okay." So we did a ceremony in the King's Chamber. Everybody went downstairs, and then I played my drum. And this is before Archangel Gabriel even connected with me. And at that time, because we had the pyramid overnight,
Oh,
which is very rare. It's hard to get. We had it from 10 p.m. to 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. in the morning.
wow.
So after we did the ceremony, I did the drumming. I brought my drum, and boom! I don't even know what came through me, what rhythms. It was just very aligned with source and came through, and everybody said they could hear the drum through the whole pyramid. And I'm
Oh,
like, wow. Then my spirit guide said they activated it, and I didn't know till the next time I went to the Egypt, which was 2008, many years later, and I brought a group then, and I did a sound healing activation in the King's Chamber. And what happened was I had everybody chanting this special tone. They told me I listened to my guides. They said bring in the tones for heaven and earth combination. So it's alignment with the source and plus you're grounded at the same time. So I had everybody do those tones, and all of a sudden It sounded like a dozen Tibetan monks were chanting with us. And I'm going, what? And everybody could hear it. It was loud and you could feel the energy. And I'm like, and you could really feel this energy. And there's a temple guard there. They have robes on. They're very wise men, and they just keep an eye on everything, making sure everything's okay in the pyramids and the temples. And I said, and I asked them, I said, did you guys put speakers in here? Thinking, where's this coming from? And he said, no, you did it. You activated the pyramid. And I'm like, whoa. Okay, it is through
Oh,
sound.
I
Through sound.
I understand that from a quantum perspective. The
Hmm.
frequency of the sound
Hmm.
activated that on a multidimensional level. Whoa,
Hmm. So
cool.
it's sound that activates. You sound in the other temples, and then different things happen. Let's put it that way, because there's different energies in those temples. So, I mean, I had a pharaoh come to me. Then I heard the Hathor singing, and they were bringing him in through sound. Ah, ah, ah. There, and I heard him. I didn't see them, but I could hear him in Karnak, which is a high priestess temple, and there were layers of these voices, and I'm going, "Whoa, those are the Hathors!" And then all of a sudden, this pharaoh comes in front of me, and he goes, "In the court of the Crimson King," and I was in the courtyard of Karnak. And I went, whoa. I said, and I did a whole 360. I got so excited. And I saw him. His energy was huge, but he was himself was tiny
Oh,
physically. Yeah, you wouldn't think that, but he looked very tiny. He almost looked ET-ish, by the way. But he had his headdress on, and like how the ETs, the Greys look or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
tiny like that. He looked almost kind of like that. But his energy was huge, and he was very, very powerful. He wasn't, because a lot of the ETs are robots. So, and that's another little story. So, and so that was very fascinating. And it all coming in with sound. And what talking about the Native Americans, and we're Choctaw, and we call ourselves the Red Race, correct?
Mhm.
Well, he said in the court of the Crimson King. Crimson is the Red Race. They were Crimson. They were from here. They were from, I remember in the Emerald Tablets, Thoth would say he brought them from Atlantis to Egypt. Well, Atlantis is right here. It's in Sedona. I found it in Sedona. It's in the United States. It's huge. It's actually all over the world.
I have got to confirm this. You know who Michael Lee Hill is? He is
Mm.
a Anunnaki contactee,
Oh,
and
nice.
he's really into music. The 432 technology was downloaded by the Anunnaki to him. But I
Nice.
just did an interview with him, and he said that the Nephilim, the hybrid offsprings in Atlantis between human women and the uh, Anunnaki, those Nephilim went from Atlantis to the Native American tribes.
Really?
So it would make total
It
sense.
would it so it's kind of backwards then.
The Nephilim brought their culture from Atlantis to North America and integrated with the Native American Indians. So you have all of that. It looks like Egyptian in Sedona and all over.
Wow.
Oh, and
Wow.
he said what they did was first they went from Atlantis to the Mayan civilization, and then they traveled north to the American Indian nations.
And then they went to Egypt.
Well, I don't know if they went at the same time in two different directions. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay, because that would make sense, because I found the ancient Egypt here, and they came from the south. They came from where you're talking about, the
Uh-huh.
Mayan area. Like in Mexico, and they came in through there. So exactly, these relics are 30,000 years old, and they're hand carved and they come from southern Mexico, which is the Mayans. The Mayans had Mexico, Yucatan, Belize, Honduras, all those areas, which is, to me, very close. 600 miles is nothing. And I've always, every time I went to the Mayan lands, I always said, this is older than Egypt. These temples are older than Egypt. I always said that and
So
felt that.
the information he was given would fit totally in with what you've always
Yep.
said is from
Hmm.
Atlantis to the Mayan civilization and then north to the North American Indians.
Right. Because I really felt I think they were the Indians because the Indians, the Native Americans, we had the flood then, and they went underground into the Grand Canyon, and they were there for thousands of years. They forgot their history. They forgot where they came from. So what I'm saying is like they came in first, let's say the Egyptians, and then they turned into the Native Americans, and then they forgot who they were. And that's the history I've been finding out that we don't remember. I've talked to them personally, the Hopi, even what about the flood? Oh yeah, yeah, we just don't remember where we were before that. And like interesting, it was like everything was blanked out, but there was thousands of thousands and thousands. It was more than people realize. Thousands of years
Oh,
later,
yeah. Yeah.
not just a couple hundred. So that, and then I found in Chicago and Mississippi some ancient Egyptian artifacts too down there. So I'm writing the new a Egyptian version of book, Faces in the Rocks, with all this history and knowledge. And anyway, so I'm always on a good project here for the planet.
Now, the last time that we spoke, you were working on a documentary. How's that
Yeah.
coming along?
Good. I'm to the point. I did the trailer and I've got the outline and everything. So I'm sending it off to find out how to submit. And that is the trailer for documentary for the Faces in the Rocks. This place is like a library. It's so many different cultures here, not just Egypt. There's dragons, there's birds, there's Kuan Yin, Ganesh, pyramids, sphinxes everywhere. I mean, it's just hidden in plain sight. It's amazing. I'm still amazed by it, and I've been here 25 years.
Well, there's a lot of action there interdimensionally. It's kind of
Yes.
like Mount Shasta with the extraterrestrial presence, right?
Yeah. Well,
Um,
there's a lot of vortexes here. Yeah. And they're all over. They talk about seven. No, there's more like, I don't even know. Uh, There's a lot, dozens of them,
mhm.
not just seven. And they move around. They're like tornadoes, how they move around. They're the whirlwind. I feel the spin. When I used to hike with my dog would find them before I did. She started to spin around. I'm like, oh, we found a vortex, huh?
Oh my goodness. And
She was,
have you had some interesting experiences with the extraterrestrials in Sedona or anywhere else?
oh yeah, I've had since I was the age of 4. They picked me up when I was playing in the driveway, broad daylight, and they were cloaked in a cloud. The ship was cloaked in a cloud, and they pulled me up into the ship. And as they were pulling me up into the ship, my mom ran out of the house trying to catch me, and they pulled her up too. And
Whoa.
that's where I have a book out called Look Up, My Encounters with ETs and Angels, because I've
Mhm.
had, with Archangel Gabriel, Metatron, many angels too. And those are the stories that I've had experiences with, and they've all been positive. None of this doom and gloom, and there are many different cultures of ETs, not just the Greys. Actually, I've never met the Greys. I've actually seen, yes, I have, but not purposely, if that makes any sense. They
Mhm.
were in a Mayan temple I snuck into that I was not supposed to be in. Miss Rebel I am. I said, I came this far. I'm going through that doorway right now. And it was broad daylight. I said to my friend, watch my back. I go in there. It's pitch dark. Couldn't see a thing, but I can open up my third eye and I found a stairway. So I started going up the stairway with my third eye, and eight Grays came running down the stairway and they surrounded me and they were so nervous. They were more nervous than I was. They were saying, "You can't be in here. You gotta go." And they were like this, "You gotta go." And I go, "Okay, no problem. I'm out of here." So I back out. And my friend, she goes, "What's in there?" I go, "There's grays hanging out in there. I have no idea what they're doing." I was very casual about it. And they didn't seem threatening. They just doing their job. They were hiding something. It was March 21st during the spring equinox. So something, those are very powerful times, especially it was at Chichen Itza. And it was a very powerful time. And those are line, they line up, the equinoxes and solstices line up with, so you can actually travel through the universe easier. And I think that's what they were doing up there. I don't know. But I heard up the stairway was a altar, a jaguar altar. So
Ooh. Hmm.
yeah, no, I didn't go up there. And now you can't climb. You're not allowed to be even climb Chichen Itza anymore. But I got chance to twice, so yay.
It's a good thing you got to when you did, huh?
Yeah.
The Hemi-Sync artist, the
Hmm.
Hemi-Sync, I looked it up, and it's audio content specifically mixed with a hemispheric synchronization, sound patterns to encourage altered states of consciousness.
Hmm?
Now, how did that come into play? Was that even in the back of your mind when you were making your CD, or was it just like a natural download?
It was a natural download. I wasn't thinking HemiSync. I knew about HemiSync, but not that much. But no, these were definitely sound frequencies that are coming through that were activating, and I just knew it. And I would play them for other people to see their response and things that would happen to me during recording. Like I would go leave my body.
Oh,
I'm like, wait a minute, I'm trying to get this done. Like that was my Cosmic Awakening CD that is actually music channeled in from many star systems.
ooh,
And that was the one I kept leaving my body. That was very high frequency. Yeah, and then my friend said, "Well, send your stuff to HemiSync to Monroe Institute." And I said, "Oh, okay." So I did, and they accepted me right away. They said, "Oh, we've been looking for a chakra CD," and boom, they took me up, and that was 15, maybe longer, 15, 16, 17 years ago. And I was very honored, and they've been helping me out and helping each other out. So that's a great thing.
wow. Yeah, I am really interested in the frequencies for the chakra healing and
Hmm.
charging them up. I think that we all need to keep ourselves balanced and charged up,
Yeah.
and frequencies in music are certainly
Yeah,
instrumental.
I do my sound healing session, which has to be in person, but I go through the chakras with the sound and I'm a Reiki master. I pull out any old stuff that doesn't serve you anymore. And I go through each chakra and a lot of people, well, I always get, the response I get is, "Oh my God, I just release all kinds of stuff. I don't feel so stressed out, not so fearful. I don't feel anxiety. I feel so peaceful." And then some people cry and they go, "Why are you crying?" And they go, "I don't know." And that's because the old stuff that's buried in there that's coming out.
Right.
So yeah, the sessions are profound. And then some people go, "How many do I need?" I said, you just need one. And then, get the CD and that you know what to do after that. I mean, you take it with you.
Now, I know you're so busy, but are you still doing your conference in the or at
No,
the end of
I've
summer?
decided that 9 years I did the Cosmic Awakening Conference in Sedona, and I said nine is the completion. And I've had so many other projects that I've been wanting to do for the last 4 or 5 years that I never can get to them because doing a conference is a lot of work.
Hmm.
People don't realize it takes 8, 9 months to even put a 3 day conference together
Oh,
real seriously. And so I said, no, I'm done. I want to work on these other, like the documentary and a movie for my book, for my ET encounters. And, I have a lot of other projects I want to work on. So,
Great. Well, I'm glad I got to go to your last conference. It was
yes.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah. It was nice and spiritual, peaceful, right?
Uh-huh.
High vibe.
It was. It was. Do you have some new projects there in Sedona that you're doing?
Well, working on the Egypt and Sedona book that is just it's blowing my mind, the stuff I'm finding out. Do the drive tour. Those
Oh,
are so much fun. Yeah, you'll see the faces. I point the faces out to you. Sphinxes, the gods and goddesses of Egypt. I have found 14 of them.
wow.
14. And nine of them are all in a row. I mean, you can't make that up in the rocks. I mean, come on. And so the 2 hour tour is so much fun, and we get to go out in the land. And so if anybody comes to Sedona, call me for the tour. It's like I said, it's 2 hour tour, so it's fun,
Wow.
fun.
One of the things that blew my mind when we did that video about the faces in the rocks was the face that was actually the Indian face, a real, what would you call that?
Oh, sleeping Indian, I call him. He
Hmm.
was a fossil,
A fossil, a real
right?
fossil.
He was a real fossil. Yeah, my I have a Faces in the Rocks book out, and I had a geologist look at the book. He went through the whole thing. It was at this conference in Chicago, and he goes, "Did you know that this is a fossil, this is a fossil, and this is a fossil, and this you got fossils in here?" I go, "I had no idea. They look so real, the faces." And he said, "Yeah, these other ones they have cut lines, and those are carvings, but the Native American I found was the side of a mountain." He said, he goes, "That's a fossil." And let's see, I have it right here. I said, "Do you know how big that thing was?" I said, "That thing was huge." He goes, "Giants." That's what he says to me. Shh. Like, we're not supposed to have this information? Come on.
Well,
We're big now. We're grown up now. We can handle it.
and that goes along with the Nephilim having babies with the indigenous women.
Yeah. And they were honored. That see, a lot of them say it was negative. They were honored because they looked at them as gods. And in the rocks here, they have I have found Marduk. Marduk is an Anunnaki, and next to him, swear to God, is a woman standing, and she is tiny compared to him.
Whoa.
And that's part of Faces of the Rocks tour.
Oh, that was my next question.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I have pictures of them on the website. People can look at. I'm not sure which ones are on there. I should probably add more.
Wow. Every time I see you and talk to you, I get so excited because you just fill the whole space up with so much interesting information
Oh,
from the sound frequencies, the healing frequencies to faces in the rocks, actual fossils, and you've got so much to share. I
yeah.
really
This is
appreciate you.
Thank you. Well, this is my mission, and it makes me excited to do this work. And
Uh-huh.
the Faces and the Rocks kind of just fell in my lap. I wasn't expecting that until I moved here, and I went, "Oh my God, look!" And the ancient Egyptian spirits guided me. I'm telling you, it's all these magical stories are on my drive tour, so you're gonna have to come.
I am planning on getting out there, hopefully in the fall when it cools off
Okay,
a little bit.
perfect.
One last question here. Timing is everything. Timing is important, as we know from that experience you recounted.
Mhm.
And have you received any information from your guides about the time that we're in right now and what is coming up?
Well, I did get some downloads we went to the Iran war,
Mhm.
and I asked about that, and they said, "Well, we will only go to war. This is for the masses. We only go to war when there's not enough people woken up. So we went to war. So I guess it's to wake people up still." I mean, there's a lot that have we have awakened from COVID. Oh my God, we have that
Huge,
was a huge one,
huge. Hmm.
and that's what they have said to me. These are wake up calls. Trying to think what else they've told me just recently. Everything's gonna be okay. Is just everybody keep thinking positive because that brings the energy in. That
Right.
shifts the energy of everything, everything. Your spirit, your surroundings. Just think positive, positive, positive. Don't dwell on the negative because then
Mhm.
you're feeding it and you're adding to it. So when you add to it, then you're bringing the frequency down and lowering the vibration for everybody. So keep that in mind. Very wise advice. How's that?
Very important. I love it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're very
That is
welcome.
wonderful. Now, did you have any other messages or that you want to tell us before we wrap it up?
You can get lots of healing from my music. And like I said, SiriusStargate.com. You can listen for free. I would love that. And I even have some of my rock stuff on there. I got everything on there. So check it
Cool.
out.
All righty. Oh, I just love you. Thank you so
I
much for
love you
being on the
too.
planet right now.
Oh, thank you, April. You're so wonderful too.
And we will talk soon because with your ever evolving projects going on, I'm sure there's going to be something else to talk about shortly.
You never know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, sweetie.
Oh, you're welcome and have a wonderful day.
You too. Blessings.
Blessing. Bye bye.